Good evening. Have one time today. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Sermon Jail Spirit Divine. I'll give you a word and some news on today. Um, saving our children. Saving our children in this world. Our world would be a beautiful place again. Many issues, I have to tangle with, to get it back into order. So there are still killing, in this world, and I'm pressing to have policy written out to strengthen the rules on sales. So every day, I work hard to deal with all issues, to be a voice to others, with all prayers across the nation, in minds. I pray every day for all these children, in this all across the nation, for God to protect all these children across the nation. So far, we haven't had no killing in the school, because I pray to God every day for these kids. But lately, been trying to have the control, with the school, they're being intentful for a little while, because prayer is the only thing can work, because y'all don't know, I'm working behind the scenes praying for different situations, to get everything back to part, but lately, there have been parents, killing their children, killing their children. One said it was a mistake. So many kids are living in toxic homes, among domestic violence, and when two parents are in a heated argument, it's sometimes to take it out on the children to try to get back at their partner. You know, when it become too much, and you are overwhelmed, and you is mad, you're mad with your partner, try to remember your child don't have nothing to do with your argument. So a lot of times they'll do things, but because they're mad with the old lady or they're mad with the boyfriend. So you gotta remember a child is innocent when y'all bring a child in the middle of an argument. So when you think about killing your child, remember there are shelters. There are shelters you can place them in. You can place them in shelters. That'd be the best thing for you to do besides killing. When you decide that you're around like a baby's crying too much, don't shake the baby. Leave the baby by a neighbor, and a neighbor will bring it. Bring it to the police, and the police will bring the baby to a shelter. It's just the type of things that I need y'all to do when you think about you're overwhelmed and the baby crying too much or whatever the case is. Don't never think about shaking a baby to death or killing a child. Just think about bringing the baby by the neighbor, and the neighbor know what to do. That'd be the best thing to do to make a mistake. So a child is innocent, and they deserve to live. They have a future, they have a whole life ahead of them. So making the world beautiful again. First I'm trying to, knowing the way, we can't really stop the killing, but we can slow the pace of them buying the weapon. And that's what I've been trying to focus on. Because we can't really start to kill, because we don't know what person in their mind or when is they gonna kill or what section they at. All we can do is focus on trying to slow the pace of them buying the persons these guns. That's what the policy and stricken the rules come in place at, and increase on the age. That's what all this come in at. They're saying that's not important. It is important. Because they constantly buying, they're constantly going in the store buying this stuff. So we can strengthen the rules of them going in the store buying it. They won't go in and come out with a gun. Because with a background check, that means you're not going to purchase the same thing. So it's very important the policy in strictening up these rules. So, and two, stop throwing the kids away. kids are very precious. You know, don't throw the child away. Now, this is the type of thing we've been having lately. You know, it been it been okay. We didn't have no violence in the school. You know, but now all of a sudden, since I done calmed that down, now we got the parents killing the baby and saying it was a mistake. You know, you can never kill a child and then say it was a mistake. You know, so innocent people, and also we have all these issues that I'm trying to deal with step by step. You know, innocent people is going to jail and they haven't served 15 and 20 years, and all of a sudden they was innocent, have not served their crime. You know, I mean, they said they have not, and they serve a crime, you know, that they have not committed. You know, so the system is broken. You know, they're not taking the time to proceed a fully investigation. You know, they're not really doing investigation in most states, like Mississippi. You know, they're not doing no investigation. You know, and you have criminals that still out in the street. And when they see the system is broken, and they see that nobody don't care, it's gonna constantly keep going on and on. We have to fix the system. You know, the system is broken. You know, and anytime you constantly putting innocent people in jail and leaving the criminals on the street, the system is broken. You know, we have to get back on track. We have to get back on track and do a full investigation on all this crime that's going on, and we have to make sure we putting the right person in jail. You know, so I spoke on yesterday. By the inmate. The inmate was affected. You know, he was on TV and he showed his body, his lace, everything had turned white. His skin just peeling and everything. It was just so gross just to look at. You know, and that been going on for a long time in Alabama prison. You know, so the affected, an inmate was affected in Alabama prison, and I had requested that they do an investigation to find out why are they getting sick like that. You know, because you have many had died. You had about 300 some inmates, you know, had died. You know, so that's a lot of people that die in Alabama prison being affected by this kind of condition that nobody don't know what it is and why it's, you know, why it's happening, where it come from. You know, that's why it needs to be investigated, because if you don't investigate it, you're gonna have so many people in that prison. It's gonna keep going on and on them until the security and the police, all that gonna be affected. You know, because they got to feed them, they got to go in there and see about it. All that gonna be affected if it don't get cleaned out, dealt with, and everything else. You know, because they said years ago they had the COVID. They said a lot of inmates had COVID, you know, and died up in those cells. You know, so have the cells been cleaned out? You know, it needs to be shut down and it needs to be thoroughly cleaned out. Because if it don't clean out, they're going to constantly be affected and they're going to constantly be dying in that jail cell. Okay, so this world look like it's falling. It look like it's falling apart, you know, but it will be put back together. You know, piece by piece. You know, I'm going to try to get things put back together. You know, the first priority, you know, are trying to keep all the children safe. You know, because we don't want the kids to be scared and be afraid, you know, because they're going to be frightened to even go back to school. You know, so we have to get that situation, you know, clear for these kids. You know, so one, the rules on gun violence, that's the main thing. You know, we have to control, tighten up the rules for gun violence, for gun purchases. Two, you got to post a background check. Now, I spoke on all this stuff like 5, 6 times. You know, it's time for policy to be written up so we can be toughen on these rules. You know, because long as you keep on saying and nothing be done about it, everything gonna constantly keep on being the same way. You know, we about to soon start a whole nother year. And I need all these policies to be written up by the end of this year so we can start off on the right foot, of stricken all these activities that's constantly keep going on. Because if we don't have no stricken rules, it's just like with the border. I'm constantly keep writing policy for the border. We don't have the title for the two no more. But I keep on writing stuff out. For that, because at one time I said close it for a while because they're just dropping them off and do not have no available shelter. We have to have available shelter to drop the immigrants off. We can't just constantly keep dropping them off and they don't have nowhere to stay. So for a better environment in prison. I understand they do crime, but they're still human. They still don't deserve to get treated the way they're getting treated. Some are not even getting fed in prison. They're dying in starvation. So I understand they're doing the crime, but still they're human, and they're being locked up like animals and not getting the proper medical attention, and not even getting fed in these jail cells. So they need a better environment, especially the cell in Alabama. Like I said, spoke on yesterday, shelter section by section has to be closed down to be cleaned thoroughly. You need a specialist to go through there to find out why is it constantly is breaking out like that. Why is it dying in the jail cell? So why? We have to start doing a full investigation. Because innocent people are getting served 15 to 20 years in jail. And they're being served that time, and all the while, that's the wrong person that was in jail. Because they're too lazy to do a full investigation. They're like, oh, this it. This it. Throw him in there. Or sometimes one man had a hearing, and his hearing was like 15 years later. So that means he had to serve 15 years in order for them to give him a hearing, for his trial. The system is broken. And we got to try to get this system together. Put back together, because things is not right inside the system. You got the cops is doing all kind of stuff, and then you got the inside of the system. Everything is broken and needs to be put back together. Because we have to get all this crime off the street. So we need people that's inside the system to work together to be straight to get all this shit together. And on the police hiring, we had to do proper background check. You have to start hiring police that love America. Because the police supposed to protect and serve. But lately we have not been getting that. So we have to be careful in the hiring department on that. 6, children getting thrown away in the trash. Children deserve to live. There are shelters for you to place the children in, not in a bag and thrown away. Children are precious. They deserve to live and not be thrown away. They have shelters. They have many places. There's many people that cannot have children. They go to those shelters. They go to a lot of those places to purchase these children. So they have people that want children. So when you get overwhelmed, like I said earlier, to have many shelters you can place these children in. And they have someone will love that child. So we come back together sooner or later. Our president, Mr. President Benny, he doing a good job. Now we have running for 2024. We need a president that gonna come up in here, and be caring about the Americans and trying to help them with this and helping them with that. We don't need a president that gonna come up in here and cut everything. We got all these people is still struggling. So we got Mr. President been helping them with their prices on their insulin. Helping them was trying to help. Student loan forgiveness and all this. So he always trying to find ways to help. So now he always invests in America. And strengthen our workforce. That came a long way. That is doing good in that department. Many people is getting jobs now. He making ways for that. He strengthening the workforce. For people to work. He investing in building and contracts and doing all kinds of stuff where people can have jobs. So we need a president for 2024 that can constantly come up with stuff to try to help to America. With student loans and their medicine, Social Security, the veterans. They're trying to cut all that. The president was trying to help save it, for the people. Social Security, the veterans, they go out there and fight for us. We always supposed to protect and try to help them when they come home. So these are the type of things we have to do to keep this world, together. You have to please America. Every day I look through and try to see what issue is going on to try to be a voice for someone. Every day I put out material. So I always have to work along with the president. So in the president for 2024, we have to find ways to please America. Not be bigger in it and trying to do other things. Our job is to try to make the world better and try to help a whole lot of issues that's going on. Is America complaining about this and that? We need to try to see how we can fix it. So that's the news on saving our children in this world and a whole lot of other issues that's going on. So now I want to talk to you about this. Not we're gonna go back to Bible study. But this had popped up into my mind yesterday. I supposed to put it out yesterday. When I get intuition of putting certain stuff out, I have to put it out. So Jesus in a miracle of catching a fish. Now, this gonna come from John, chapter 21, verse 1 through 14. So now, this is Jesus returning after 3 days resurrection. Jesus appeared to both Mary. When he rises up after 3 days. Those two ladies that was supporting him when he was alive, that was the two ladies that was at that stone. To see Jesus, to be the first one to see Jesus. But he wasn't, he wasn't in the stone, but they still was able to see him. He was able to see Mary, they both married, and Thomas. Now Jesus has stated, because you have seen me, you have believed. You have believed, and you are blessed of those who have not seen and yet have believed. Because Jesus talked about this before he left. And a lot of disciples, they didn't even know what he was talking about. They didn't really believe. So now this seed, he told them, after 3 days, I will arise back to you all. Today they didn't know what he was talking about. But only the two ladies, was paying attention and listen. They remember when Jesus said 3 days. So there was 3 days. They was at that stone. So now Jesus is alive. And he appears to some other disciples. Now going to appear to the other disciples. So Jesus appeared to his disciples by the Sea of Galilee. Simon Peter, Thomas and 2 other disciples was together. Now, pretty much this thing, what I'm trying to get at, it's about the fishing net that they couldn't catch nothing. And when Jesus said, put it in there again. And that's pretty much our life. When you fall down, don't give up. Get up and try again. So I'm going out to fish. Now Simon Peter had told them they would go with you, but so they had went out, to get into the boat, but that night they could not catch nothing. They couldn't catch nothing that night, But now they been out there till night and couldn't catch nothing, And sometimes they're on their journey trying to fish, and they're about to give up. They've been all night. They could not catch nothing. Sometimes you could be on your journey. You could be in your trial, your storm. You don't see nothing. And you're about to give up. But I'm here to tell you, just because you don't see nothing, I'm a witness. You don't never give up. You just got to keep on pressing your way through. Because see, faith and hope is what you cannot see. They've been out there all night and they couldn't catch nothing. You've been in your storm for a long time and you can't see nothing. But I'm telling you, when you fall, when you don't see nothing, you got to keep on pressing your way through. We're going to see how Jesus had told them, because they've been all night and they couldn't catch nothing. So early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciple did not recognize that was Jesus. Now see Jesus on the shore. Now he see them fishing. So Jesus on the shore and he sees them fishing. He called out to them. Have you caught anything, my friends? Have you caught anything? So Jesus see them fishing. He trying to find out if they caught anything. Because they've been all night. They ain't caught nothing. Now it's morning time. Have you caught anything? It's been a whole year, Irma. Have you seen anything? So Jesus asked them, did you caught anything? So they answered, no. They still don't realize that's Jesus. They don't recognize that's Jesus. But they answered and said no. So all of a sudden, that's a stranger to them, but they still responded back. Now, so Jesus said, now Jesus still on the shore. Now, Jesus said, throw your net on the right-hand side. Because see, they were dealing with the left-hand side. So Jesus said, I need you to throw that net on the right-hand side. He said, throw on the right-hand side of the boat, and you will find something. Now, see, they got to follow these instructions. Now, sometimes you've been going this way on your journey, but sometimes you got to check. I know my auntie used to tell me all the time. I remember when you driving, and you going to say, don't never go always the same way all the time. Try to go another way, So Jesus said, you've been doing on the left-hand side. I need you to throw that net on the right-hand side. So he said, throw it on the right-hand side. So when he said, and then you're going to find something. See, they wasn't finding nothing on the left-hand side. So Jesus said, try the right-hand side. You're going to find something. I'm going to get up and try to go on another route of your journey. And you're going to start seeing some results. Sometimes we keep on doing the same old thing. And you still can't see nothing. They was out all night with their net in their water. And they still couldn't see no fishes. So Jesus said, okay, let's try something else. Let's throw it on the right-hand side. And you watch how you're going to see something. So when they did follow the instruction, they were unable to hold the net because the large number of fish. Now Jesus come along. And he said, okay, we're going to try this here again. You fell down, but we going to get up. Let's try this here again. You've been all night trying to fish. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try to put this net on the right-hand side. And you're going to see some results. You couldn't see none on that side. You're going to see some results on this side. So they put the net on this side. And now, that net is so heavy, they can't hardly pick it up because the net is overflowing with fish. You see what I'm saying? So Jesus said, you're going to throw this net on the right-hand side. You're going to see results. There's so more than results. The results were so overflowing. The net was so heavy, that they couldn't even pick it up to try to get all the fish to put it on the boat. You know, Jesus had perceived a miracle, and he just come back to life after 3 days. And he's still working miracles. So after Jesus returned after 3 days, a group of disciples goes fishing, while they wait in Galilee. From the distance, a figure appeared. Tell the men of cast it again. They don't even know that was Jesus told them that. This said a man had said, cast it again. Throw your net again. So that's a stranger. They don't know, but they obey and throw the net in there again. So despite the fruitless night, they obey a man that they didn't even know that was Jesus yet. And the net is immediately overflowing, with fish. Now this confirmed that the man on shore was Jesus, but they did not recognize that was Jesus. They're going to have one person they're going to recognize him, the one who denied him. A lot of time, they're going to be the one that's going to recognize you all the time. That who will deny you, talk about you, just up behind your back, they're going to be the main one that will recognize you. They didn't recognize Jesus. The only one who can recognize Jesus is Peter. So then the disciple who Jesus, loved, said to Peter. Now Jesus loved Peter. He loved Peter. And Peter loved Jesus. But the devil sometimes can be overpowered through some people. It was already designed for Peter to deny Jesus. So it was in him to deny. He couldn't even try to refuse it. He tried. But it already was scripted that he supposed to deny Jesus. And he played his part. So it is the Lord. So the disciple who Jesus loved, says to Peter, and Jesus had said, it's the Lord. So he recognized Jesus first. So we see the one who denied Jesus is the first one on the boat who realized that was Jesus. Whom he loved. Simon Peter heard him say, it's the Lord. So he heard his right. It's the Lord. This me, y'all. I'm the Lord. Just me over here. So Peter recognized his word when he said, this is the Lord. So then Peter wrapped his outer garment around him, taking it off, and then he jumped. He jumped into the water. He recognized Jesus on a dim morning. So it was kind of dim. The rest of the disciples could not even recognize him, but Peter did. On the morning light, undoubtable, because Jesus had performed a similar miracle earlier. Now he just come back to life, and he doing miracles. This is a man been gone for 3 days and come back and still doing miracles with no blood on and no nails, holes in them, or nothing. You're just a brand new person to come back after 3 days. So the other disciples, they follow in the boat, towing the net. They're still trying to tangle and get that net. That net is overflowing. God will have your cup overflowing. So that net is overflowing. They're still trying to figure out with that net with the fishes and stuff. And here some of Peter trying to figure out about Jesus. That's Jesus over there. He done took his clothes off and he done dived in the water.